Alright, you bunch of savages, welcome along to Sceam Me Up Botty. I am your host, Rodney Stewart. We're getting on to more Star Trek in this episode. Spoilers ahead, so if you've not seen this episode, if you haven't seen the original series, I would recommend you checking it out before you check out this podcast. It's going to be spoiler heavy, but having said that, I won't go too deep on it. So, yeah, your choice. Either listen to this nonsense and have the episode fairly decently spoiled for you, or go watch it for yourself. I would recommend you checking it out as much as, you would want to promote your own podcast and have people come listening to it. Go watch the episode yourself. That's deadly. So, Season 1, Episode 4, Mir. This is the first episode in the Star Trek universe where they entered the Mir galaxy, the Mir universe. And, sorry, slightly distracted here. Other shows do hit the Mir universe once in a while, but this is the first time that it happened. And the plot of the story, I will get into reception and that sort of thing afterwards, but I think this is a fantastic episode. So, at the beginning of the episode, as per usual, the Enterprise is on a mission. They're trying to get a planet to allow the Federation to mine dilithium crystals on it. And they're not doing well, they're failing badly. And when they go to transport back to the Enterprise, Kirk, along with Dr. McCoy, Scotty, and Uhura, have a transporter accident as they try to beam to the Enterprise. There's an ion storm happening that throws the transporters off, and they find themselves materializing on a different Enterprise. Same, but slightly different. It's designated the ISS Enterprise, and Spock is there waiting for him. He now has a goatee beard, looking a little bit like Ming the Merciless. Sidearms are standard issue, and the ship itself belongs to an empire rather than a federation. After inquiring about the status of the mission, Spock orders the bridge crew to prepare a phaser barrage on the Halkans for their refusal to cooperate. In this universe, they're pretty much trying to take over everything, and they're just going to go down and do what the hell they want there, whereas in the Prime universe, the Federation will try to negotiate the whole thing, but in this universe, the Empire will just go on, take what they want, kill anybody that doesn't do what they want them to do. So Kirk orders the land party to sickbay. Did I just jump over my notes again? Yes, this version of Spock orders the bridge to prepare to do a phaser barrage on the planet for the inhabitants' refusal to cooperate. He then uses an agonizer to punish Transporter Chief Kyle for the error. Kirk orders the landing party to sickbay so that they can assess their predicament in private essentially. He deduces that the Aeon Storm must have opened a barrier between parallel universes, causing the landing parties and each universe to switch. So they decide they're going to have to impersonate their counterparts until they can find a way home. Uhura, she ascertains that Starfleet has ordered the Halkans' destruction unless the Empire's demands for dilithium are met. Kirk orders a 12-hour delay on the attack, which Spock reports to, I was going to say Starfleet, but he's going to report this to the Empire, essentially. Kirk heads for his quarters and is nearly murdered by Chekhov and his henchmen, one of whom betrays Chekhov and saves Kirk's life. So they work out here in this universe that people get up through the ranks through assassination, essentially. So you've got Chekhov, and he's got a few of the lower ranks backing him up, but one of his men turn on him, and Kirk takes him on as one of his guys, and his little gang, essentially. So the Kirk's bodyguards arrive and take Chekhov to the agony booth for punishment. And this is something that in newer Star Trek, as much as people like to crap on the new stuff, the agonizer booths were done a lot better as we went on. The effect, like, essentially, this thing just kind of like friggin' electrocutes you more or less, and just you're stuck inside something that's like it's a booth. Let's just say it's just like a telephone booth or a telephone box, or maybe I'm going to say coffin, just about that size. You just have enough room to stand up, and this thing's just constantly shocking you. So, poor Chekhov sent off to this agony booth for a bit of punishment. Scott and McCoy join Kirk in his quarters. The computer confirms Kirk's idea and provides a procedure to reproduce the transporter accident and return them to their home universe. Kirk also learns that in this universe, his counterpart took command of the ISS Enterprise by assassinating Captain Pike, and since committing numerous atrocities, and had since committed numerous atrocities, I should say. Meanwhile, aboard the USS Enterprise in the other universe, the Prime universe, then they're kind of wondering, we have switched places here. We're in a universe we don't belong in. Everybody's crazy here. They're mad. They assassinate to get up through the ranks. What the heck is the four people from this universe that we swapped with? What are they doing in the Prime universe? So we cut over to the Enterprise, and where are we at? Yes, we cut over to the Enterprise. Spock places the Mirror Universe counterparts in the brig, confines them, and has not yet determined how to send them home. So it's just a very, very simply put, quick little scene there. The crazy version of Kirk is going mad in the brig, and Spock just leaves him there. So back over in the Mirror Universe on the ISS Enterprise, Scott and McCoy secretly begin work on the engines and the transporter. Spock warns Kirk that despite their relationship, he cannot support Kirk's behaviour. Kirk defies the warning and releases Chekhov from the agony booth and returns to his quarters. And there he finds this female officer, Marlena, the captain's woman. She assumes his unusual behaviour as part of a plot, as their relationship has been cooling lately. Spock interrupts to inform Kirk that he has been ordered to kill him and take command unless Kirk carries out the mission within 4 hours. Marlena suggests using the Tantalus field, a weapon that's concealed in Kirk's quarters. So she turns this thing on and focuses the device on Mr. Spock. She's lamenting his imminent demise. We can just take him out at the press of a button, essentially. Kirk prevents this, of course, and he reassures her that he's still the captain. She's still the captain's woman, and leaves. Back in his own quarters, Spock, already suspicious of the landing party, queries the computer about the classified research being conducted in engineering, which of course is McCoy and Scotty trying to get their plan in action to get back to their own universe, and he decides to confront Kirk again. On the bridge, Uhura distracts Sulu, the security chief in this universe, as well as the second officer, third in command, essentially. From a security board, when it signals Scotty's connection to have warp power to the transporter, she uses her feminine wiles on Sulu. He's tried to, earlier in the episode, he's been trying to flirt with her. Well, when I say flirt, he's just going to try and have his way with her, essentially. But, she kind of beats him off earlier on in the episode, but she uses her femininity in this part of the episode to throw him off the trail of what's going on in the security panel. So, Spock intercepts Kirk in the transporter room and leads him at phaser point to sick bay, where Scotty, McCoy, and Uhura have been waiting. A fight begins in which Spock is knocked out by Kirk. Decent little fight in this episode. The choreography of the fights in the show are fantastic. He's knocked unconscious and maybe damaged a little bit more than McCoy would like. So he insists on treating Spock. And before they can leave, Sulu arrives with 3 security guards, and Sulu tells him he intends to assassinate Kirk and make it look like Kirk and Spock killed each other. But Marlena, the captain's woman, is watching in Kirk's quarters and uses the device, the Tantalus field, to vaporize Sulu's henchmen, leaving only Sulu on his own. Kirk renders Sulu unconscious, and Uhura, Kirk, and Scott head for the transporter room, leaving McCoy to follow after attending to Spock. While he's working on him, Spock suddenly wakes up and forces McCoy into a Vulcan mind meld to learn why the captain spared his life. Now, this, for me, was a brilliant sequence with Spock, because, the character Spock, of course, is emotionless, and this cold, like the emotionless of Spock is cold, yes, normally, but it's not what it is in this episode. Like, he plays it so damn good in this episode. It's just never wakes up on the bed, sits up, and stares McCoy down and goes for the Vulcan mind meld. That is subtle but absolutely perfect. So he gets what he needs out of McCoy's head, essentially. Kirk, Scotty, and Uhura reach the transporter room to find Marlena waiting. She asks Kirk to take her with them, but Kirk explains that the transporter is set for 4 people only. Marlena points a phaser at Kirk, but Uhura disarms her. They discover the power to the transporter has been cut, and Scotty can only reset the controls to allow manual operation, requiring one of them to stay behind. At this point, Spock arrives and has McCoy with him, and he announces that he will operate the controls. So Kirk uses the time remaining before the land party must transport out to argue for the overthrow of the Empire, which Spock agrees is inevitable in 240 years' time. This kind of thing can't last. Kirk urges Spock to take command of the Enterprise and find a way to save the Halkans, the alien race on this planet. Spock reminds him of the necessity of power. Kirk reveals the existence of the Tantalus field. Spock is like, it could happen, but it's just, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna take control of the Enterprise? How am I gonna, you get a version of Spock here that's evil, yes, but he is highly logical, as all Spocks are in all universes, I would think. So, he knows that the Empire's days are numbered, essentially, and he kind of agrees with Kirk that that there's a better way to do things. But how can I take power in the Enterprise? And Kirk tells him the Tantalus field is in there, the weapon that was used to kill people. This is how the evil Kirk went up through the ranks. Yes, so he leaves Marlena with the other Spock. As he transports them out, Spock promises to consider what Kirk has said. So Kirk, McCoy, and Scotty and Uhura beam out and find themselves back in the Prime universe. Spock reports that he found the ruthless attitude of their counterparts refreshing, sarcastically calling them the very flower of humanity. Kirk is startled by the appearance of Lieutenant Marlena Maru. Hopefully I said that surname properly. The version of Marina in their own universe, the Prime universe, She recently transferred to the Enterprise, and she comes with a report for a signature. In answer to Spock's query, Kirk says that Marlena seems like a nice, likable girl, and that perhaps they could become friends. So we close out the episode there, and you get a little pan back of the camera showing the whole bridge crew, and Kirk just saunters across to Marlena, and pretty much seems like he starts flirting with her there and then. So, decent, brilliant, good episode. First time in the Mirror universe, and this will happen a good few times through other series of Star Trek. So I like this episode. I think it's great. So let's just look up at the sort of reception that it got online. So for the franchise's 30th anniversary in 1996, TV Guide ranked Mirror Mirror number 3 on its list of the 10 best Star Trek episodes from all series. In 2016, Newsweek ranked Mirror Mirror as one of the best episodes of the original series. In 2016, IGN ranked Mirror Mirror the third best episode of the original series. Some other place here ranked Mirror Mirror as the 10th best episode of all Star Trek episodes up to 2011. 2012, the AV Club ranked the episode as one of the top 10 must-see episodes of the original series. 2012 again, Christian Science Monitor ranked this the 5th best episode of original Star Trek. 2015, New York Public Library suggested this episode as having Spock's 5th best scene on the show. I have to agree, Spock is fantastic in this episode. In a 2016 article highlighting the best episode from each Star Trek series, Digital Trends give Mirror Mirror an honourable mention. 2016 Business Insider ranked Mirror Mirror the 6th best episode of the original series. 2016 IGN ranked the episode number 3 on a top 10 list of the original series. Empire ranked it the 12th out of 50 top episodes of Star Trek. At the time, there were around about 726 episodes and a dozen films released. So, yeah, doing well on the rankings. Like the reception here, the list of the receptions for this episode are all fantastic. I don't think there's anything in here. I'm just going to quickly scan down through it and see if I can get anything negative as far as the reception of it went. Let me see. No, everything here is, it's every ranking is that's in the top 20 for the vast majority of it, and the vast majority of it, sorry, is like the top 10 best episodes, and there's very few of them are lower than that there, but it's all below the top 20 of Star Trek. So brilliant. Anything else here worth noting? Let me see, Star Trek Mirror Universe concept was revisited in 5 episodes of Star Trek DS9, crossover, Through the Looking Glass, Shattered Mirror, Resurrection, and the Emperor's New Cloak. Alright, in Star Trek's internal chronology, the earliest appearance of the Mirror Universe is in the prequel series Star Trek Enterprise, the 2-part episode, and the Mirror Darkly. That is a damn good 2-parter. Now I've just read that. That's definitely worth going and checking out. Like, some people, including myself, it is what it is. Star Trek Enterprise was very, very different from everything we got prior to that there, because it was a prequel series to the original series, and the reception it got wasn't fantastic among the fans, but it grew on us, and I think if they had have given it a chance of a couple more series, it would have it would have thrived. But a lot of people really do consider Star Trek Enterprise to be the the thing that killed the series first time round, got it, you know, cancelled. But that two-parter, and A Mirror Darkly, is fantastic. Um, it is a it's a sequel to the original series episode. The Folian Web reveals the fate of the USS Defiant. So yes, definitely worth going and checking it out for that on its own. The Mirror Universe played a large role in the first season of Star Trek Discovery and was visited in Despite Yourself, The Wolf Inside, Vaulting Ambition, and what's past as prologue, the 2024 episode Fairest of Them All. In a non-canonical fan series, Star Trek continues shows the events in the Mirror Universe following the original series episode Mirror Mirror. Among many parodies of the Mirror Universe are a 1977 episode of science fiction sitcom Quark and Spooky Fish, in a 1998 episode of South Park as well. So yeah, definitely does have a lot of roots. A lot of pop culture roots came from this episode. Fan bloody tastic, and it's, again, I've said it in previous episodes. It's weird to think that this show started way back in the 60s, like the original air date 1967. The fact that I'm sitting here all these years later recording a podcast on the original series of Star Trek is crazy. It's a show that, yeah, just defies time. Essentially, it's just no matter what year you're going to come across this series, you're going to find something to love on it. One last thing before we go here in this episode, I don't know if it delved into. There's a lot of stuff going on online on YouTube there with videos about the apparent uproar at Paramount at the moment with the whole Starfleet Academy carry on. And I don't want to go too far in this here because I don't have that much knowledge on the whole situation. But there's a lot of videos going out there at the minute, and they're saying this, that, and the other. And I've seen videos about the cast of the Star Trek movies and the Kelvin timeline apparently all quitting and walking out, and videos on a lot of the classics actors, as far as like William Shatner and Patrick Stewart was the last video was seen. Apparently they went to a Paramount executives and complained about the direction that Star Trek is going in, and on that last video they were saying that these pair are going to be coming out and an interview, like pretty much outing the whole disaster that is Paramount. Now, having said all that, I have been looking online to see if I can get any confirmation on all these rumours, and I really can't find anything anywhere. So I don't know what's going on, whether it's just a lot of creators just trying to start a lot of rumours and get their hits up online. Because if you want to get popular online, be negative. That's the thing. Everybody loves drama, and it's kind of sick and sad that if this isn't true, people's just making this stuff up. It's just don't count yourselves as fans now. It's okay not to like something, and I have heard Starfleet Academy wasn't strong, and I did kind of bounce off that a little bit. Apparently some of the characters that were in, one character in particular, apparently according to Star Trek history, can't exist. So I don't know. That's why I'm going in chronological order of this podcast, so I can fill myself in completely on everything. That's, as much as I love Star Trek, there's quite a bit of it I haven't seen myself, and I want to be fully fully versed in Star Trek as best as possible before I start into the newer stuff. But it is what it is. You know, you would want to see Star Trek continuing. You do want to see it being handled with the care and attention that it deserves, especially with its legacy. And if it doesn't get that, then it's a crime against the series. But things change, and yeah, just because you don't like the newer Star Trek doesn't mean the older stuff isn't still there for you to go back and check out. So we'll see. It's just a little bit of a tangent at the end of the episode here, but I can't make a definite opinion on what's going on with it. As I say, lots of rumours, but can't get anything confirmed online. So if anybody does have any confirmations on any of that there, if it's true, Patrick Stewart and William Shatner are speaking out against Paramount, and if the cast of the Kelvin timeline have quit, let me know in the comments below this video or podcast, wherever you're listening to it or watching it. Let me know what's going on if you have any confirmation for me. Right, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Until the next episode, if you want to check out anything else I'm doing, go to the website coinsagemedia.com. You'll get absolutely everything that I'm doing over there. Right, that'll do now. I will talk to you in the next episode. This has been a production of Coins Age Media. Thank you so much for listening.